Hello everybody, Earth.Otherwise here with another Let's Analyze video. The rules are linked in the description, and we will be looking at a game that I've done a blind run for. Additionally, we will be asking and answering several questions in hopes of understanding how the game functions as a work of art. This isn't a review. I will not be talking about my opinions of the game, or whether I believe what it is doing is good or bad. Only what can be gleaned from as objective a point of view as possible. So on to the first question. What, at its core, are the mechanics of this game? Gnomoria can be boiled down to designating a task for your gnomes and hoping that they will complete them. You do not, I believe, have direct control of these gnomes, and so cannot force them to do anything. They have to choose to do it. The possibility space, for a game like this, is vast depending on the complexity of the things that you can designate. For something as simple as designating a gnome to dig out a wall, to designating that an entire building be constructed, the sky is the limit. Limiting factors in this possibility space, though, is how far into the future you can designate things, and if you can designate something as well as how that something is to be done. So the space opens up from there. Additionally, a limiting factor is the question of if you can build designations on top of designations. For example, if you designate that a tunnel is to be dug, can you then designate, without actually having the tunnel dug, that a chair is to be placed in that tunnel? If the game assumes the tunnel is as good as dug, then yes, you would be able to place a chair there. However, if the game does not recognize this as something which is true, then you cannot place a chair there. The inputs of this game are difficult to understand, and you do not get immediate feedback as to whether you are doing anything that has meaning in the game, making this game difficult to play for new players who do not know the long-term repercussions of their choices. The game's complexity is both its biggest strength and its largest weakness, as without a very deep tutorial, this game is likely to scare away the most casual, or even any but the most interested audience. But the question begs to be asked, what are you actually doing in this game? This is essentially a god mode for the current popular survival game. You must create a space where your gnomes can eat, sleep, and defend from attacks instead of doing these things yourself in a first-person view. Survival games are interesting in that the only goal is to survive. Beyond that, any further goals are the player's own. So, if the player does not feel like setting their own goals, then they will most likely stop playing the game. The same is true here. Gameplay itself is mostly about trying to keep everyone busy, as if you're even a little bit OCD, such as myself, you're going to want to use your time and effort efficiently, and to do so, you will have to scramble around trying to make sure everyone has a job. And that's not really what survival is about. Certainly it's about using time efficiently, but with a game like this, make work is the name of the game once you have your basic needs met. And who likes these types of games? They're very sandboxy, which is something that children and adults alike enjoy. There are fantasy elements, which is also something that people of all ages can enjoy. The graphics are lackluster, which means that this will most likely appeal to an older crowd, and the controls are incredibly complex and opaque to the average player, meaning that this game's demographic is older adults. And will this game keep that demographic entertained? I say most likely not. Not unless they are of a specific group of people who enjoy playing Dwarf Fortress, but want a 3D view and a slightly different setup. And that audience is so niche that I would assume that it's less than 1,000 people. Thank you guys for watching this. My second Let's Analyze video, I believe. Leave a comment if you agree or disagree with any of the points that I made, and I may respond to them in my comment response video. If you like this video, leave a like, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. This is Earth.Otherwise, signing off.